a Green Naval Task Force led by Max himself was sent to rescue the poor trapped souls on the Tan Island. Gramulus was surprised to see Max here. He wondered what was up. "What are you doing here, Max?" Gramulus asked. "It's simple, old friend. Gramulus ordered me to rescue you all." "Doesn't he know about everything that you stand against?" "You know we don't. Does he know about how much we hate each other?" "I know." "Oh, he does. But I'm afraid I have the orders from my dear leader are paramount and absolute." Having sailed out to sea just a little bit, Max considered his options. But this was the only way for him to become Gromulus's favorite general again. Very quietly, he pulled out his pistol and fired 2 shots. Max, pleased with himself, sailed back to the landing ships. No one will know of his treachery. Gromulus was staring into the void. The idea of taking the Tan's homeland for their resources seemed easy enough. But now, the Tan's massive industry was taking effect. They seemed unstoppable. The Tiger tanks on Tan Island, now the Tan Air Force, has not only contested the Green's Air Force of the sky, but is also driving them back in some cases. Unfortunately, he saw no other way out. "Lieutenant," Gromulus said, "I'm afraid we're going to have to make an important call." "Sir?" the lieutenant replied. "I never thought I would have to make this call, but it appears as if we have no choice anymore." The lieutenant was confused. Then he understood. "Sir, you're not seriously considering—" "We're out of options. Get Roscoe on the line. I want to see what the Reds want for their help." "The pre-war blend truly is the best," Winston replied. "You must have gone through all this hard work, Ataturk." "Oh, my dear friend Winston," Ataturk replied. "I knew that was your favorite, so I went to get it for you, in honor of our new relationship." "Indeed. You must have gone through all that torment just to get this particular brandy." "It was my pleasure," Ataturk replied. To be honest, it was something of a nightmare, entailing multiple trips to various yellow merchants who were insufferable and bargained meanly. But it was worth it. The smile on Winston's face was priceless. "Orgestan wishes to enter into the modern era, and who better to modernize our country than the Blues? I trust that the council has looked over my proposals." "They have," Winston said. "Your goals are similar to mine and our emperor's. We actually note with great importance and interest your commitment to aid the Tans. Most commendable. But I think that maybe we can talk about it some more. About payment for these modernization programs. Over a glass of brandy, perhaps." "Don't worry, my dear friends. With our gold, we'll be able to pay you handsomely for your skills in modernization. Besides, I owe your people a great debt. You saved my life in the Great War." Masakuro shrugged. "It was my pleasure, sir," he replied. I was a medic during the war, and I did heal you." "Ah, yes. For that, you will have mine and Orgestan's eternal gratitude. Until we speak again, pretty soon, actually. Farewell." "Farewell, my good friend Ataturk. Ataturk watched as the two blue men exited his office. That was one part of a difficult negotiation down. Actually, he stood there, smug to himself. It was rather interesting how things were getting done. Very, very good. He turned to face the wall. With the Blues' help, Orngistan could become a very competent power. Not to mention the Blues' industrial prowess. While not on the same level as the Tans, their modern technology made them almost the Tans' equivalent. And with fewer factories as well. A rustling noise from behind forced Ataturk to look back. The noise was caused by the Emperor, the Org General of the Third Army, and a couple of his most finest soldiers. Subtly, Ataturk pushed a green button underneath his desk. All right, gentlemen, to what do I owe this pleasure? It's very simple, Ataturk, the Emperor replied. We are here to place you under arrest, or failing that, we are going to kill you. Ataturk was taken aback. What? Come on now. I've only done good for Orngistan. This alliance with the Blues to make us a prosperous nation will only benefit us. Enough! The Emperor replied. You no longer have any right to keep Orngistan oppressed. And you, leader of the Orange Third Army, how could you? I am loyal to my Emperor, the general replied. I have no interests in seeing our country despoiled. You killed my son, Ataturk, the legitimate heir to Orngistan. He is not the legitimate heir. He is the son of a concubine. Therefore, he is not a legitimate child. You of all people know that my wife is infertile. She cannot conceive. Of course I had to use a concubine for an heir. The Orange General spoke up. By the authority vested in us by the Emperor, you are under arrest, Ataturk. Are you threatening me, you two? Ataturk said coldly. That depends on your fate. Well, Orngistan will decide it. I am Orngistan. Not yet, Ataturk. Just then, the door burst open. The Emperor and the Orange General turned around to find that there was a significant portion of the elite guard, with the director at its head. The Emperor turned around to find that Ataturk had drawn his pistol. It's treason, then. Assassins! Ataturk snarled. It was fortunate that we had that emergency alarm system installed thanks to the Blues, the director replied. Yes, it was, old friend. But I suspected that he would try something like this. You see, old friend, I am always 2 steps ahead. That is a relief. Already we have arrested all the members of the Third Army. Some of them have professed that they had knowledge of this plot. Most of them are completely ignorant. Kill the ones who had knowledge of this plot, old friend. Spare the rest. Anyway, how is our conflict with Violet Nam going? There's not much of a conflict, to be completely honest. I was afraid that the Purple's navy would completely and utterly blockade our ports. And, well, they have no navy to speak of. So I say that things have turned out quite well. Good, my friend. Will you be able to hold things down really quickly here? The director snorted. You can trust me, friend. Still, though, I'm a bit anxious ever since I was kidnapped last time. I know, old friend, I know, Ataturk said. But I need to travel. I am going to negotiate a deal that will be beneficial to all of Orngistan. Don't wait up for me. And take care of House while I'm gone. Oh, one more thing before I go. I'm eternally grateful to that elite corps we established. It was very helpful today. Of course. We still need a name for them. Someone wanted to be called the Gold Legion. Ataturk shook his head. That's a bit ostentatious, even for me, old friend. How about the Janissaries? I think that would be a good name, wouldn't it? The director nodded. Yes, that would seem good. A nice, strong, Orangestani name. I thought you would agree. Well, I must be off. I'll be back as soon as I can. As Ataturk left, the director turned around to his men. You heard him. Let's clean this place up. Things were not going well for the Tans either. Their mechanized forces were achieving victory, but they were now running into a manpower shortage. After many discussions, the King of Amberica is forced to realize that he will have to reinstate the conscription laws of the Great War. It is with a heavy heart that I reinstate these laws, the king said. I am sick and tired of this war. I wish it would end. I need it to end. Ambar and Tannenberg agreed, but both recognized the truth, that it would be physically impossible for that. They need manpower to win the war, which the Tans do not have. Excuse me, my king, one of his advisors said. But I think it may be high time for help. And I know just the people who can help us. In the red capital of Reningrad, Rosef Jolin has met with his 3 other co-conspirators. One of them being the Grey Kaiser, and the other 2 being the newest members of his new council. Comrades, one and all, Jolin began. It is good to see you all here. I hope that you are finding our entertainments accommodating for you. Shut up, Jolin, Grumlis said. You know full well why I'm here. The Tans are kicking my people's butts, and I need assistance. The Blues have also attacked us, so I believe it only is fair that we join forces with you. Not only to that effect, the Grey Kaiser began, but with this alliance sealed, it also means that you, Greens, will help us in our civil war. I can't guarantee anything, Grey Kaiser, but I suppose I will as well. And what about you, Mertika? Jolin said. Are you willing to put aside your hatred of my people and work with us? Doesn't look like we have much choice, Mertika said. The Oranges have attacked us. I have my suspicions, but it's only fair that we become allies, for the moment anyway. Very well then. I think we are all in agreement, right? Mertika nodded. He'd rather make a deal with the devil himself, but he had no choice. The Grey Kaiser was in Jolin's pocket, and the Greens are now being kicked so bad that they needed an ally in this war, whether it be come from the Grey Kaiser or Red Dosa, their most hated enemy. All that matters right now is a guarantee that the Oranges will not invade them, which was starting to look even more likely. On a secret island in Bulgaria, the Blue leader Tatsu, the Tan Emperor, and Ataturk met to discuss the possibilities of the formation of an alliance. We are all in agreement then. The Greens, Reds, and the Purples are now our enemies. More so the Greens and the Reds. The Purples are more of a your problem, Ataturk, Tatsu said. The Purples are no problem. Everyone knows that they are terrible when it comes to conventional warfare. So I have no real worries there. We're just simply going to push enough people on the border to prevent the Purples from ever launching an attack. However, I'm wise enough to know that we won't attack the purple lands of Violet Nam. Because if we do, we don't want to get bogged down like the Reds, and that's going to happen. Arriving to the meeting was the two leaders of the warring powers, Greymark himself and Giorno. What is he doing here? Ataturk growled, pointing directly at Giorno.
You see, Ataturk,
Giorno began.
it's because of a treaty, you see. The Grey March is willing to aid the Allies, and of course, I'm willing to aid the Grey March. I have signed treaties, you know.
Since when have you cared about honoring treaties? Ataturk snarled.
What is this about, Ataturk?
Tatsu began. Yeah, I never seen you lose your cool about anything, the Tan Emperor said. I'd like to know about that myself, Greymark said.
It's simple.
During the Great War, when the Pinks invaded the world, I led a great charge against them, and the Yellows did nothing when it went wrong. They abandoned us.
An Orangestani never forgets a betrayal as long as he lives, blah blah blah. What you fail to realize, Ataturk, is that you were the perfect distraction for us to encircle them. I was not going to waste the opportunity to save your life if it meant we defeated the Pink Advance. If you two will not be willing to cooperate, Tatsu began, then this alliance is off.
Giorno and Ataturk stared for a moment at each other. Then Ataturk decided to be the bigger person.
No, this alliance is crucial. We all need this, and I'm more than willing to set aside my personal grudges for the sake of it. So, what are the terms of this alliance?
It's quite simple, the Tan Emperor said. We are all to come together and unite everything into one giant war effort. All of us will have a say in our military tactics and grand strategy. Tatsu was explaining it to me before you guys arrived.
And yes, you need the Yellow's infinite ways of making money in order to fund this war, Giorno said. Which I should be able to do. For a discount, actually.
I have no guarantees, Greymark said. All I just want to know is that our people will be left alone after this war. We want no further part in it.
You have no choice, Tatsu said. As soon as your neutrality is cemented, the Red Union will simply invade you again.
Greymark nodded. Tatsu was right after all. The Red Union never gave up on a target, even if it meant that they had to take a loss now for further victory later.
Alrighty, fine then. I just hope that Ghoul can forgive us for going to war. I'm sure the gods will be with all of us, Tatsu said.
I will not rest until the Greens are pushed out of our country, the Tan Emperor said. And if the Reds want to support them, then I say they must go too.
Despite my personal grudges with the Yellows, I feel the same way though. The Reds have been doing too many suspicious activities near our border. And if this alliance is necessary, then I with it to the end. Orangestan will stand ready. As will the Yellow Confederacy.
Very well then, Tatsu said. The Grand Alliance has been formed. May the gods watch over us all. The gods were watching over them, and they weren't happy with what they were looking at. Gree and Tal, never really ones to like each other, have been giving each other the cold shoulder ever since their people have went to war. Again.
Ghoul was saddened to see his people descend into civil war, but Rel's people's influence on his people have obviously had its desired effect. Yell was surprised that his people would break their neutrality. But if it was to help the Ghoul, then he was more than happy with their decision. Orja and Pul was weird.
The two had always been on friendly terms with each other, both seeing Rel's people as their threat. But now, with them officially at war with one another, they have been awkward with each other ever since. The two gods not present here was Bull and Rel, who decided to meet at a different area of the heavens.
The conditions are met.
Bull said. So it would seem, Rel replied.
Should we let the others in?
That hardly seems necessary. Our people have sufficient will to carry out what is needed.
Then let it be decided here.
Agreed.